Ryzen 3 1200, a CPU na almost 4 years old na guys. It's comparable to that of an 3rd gen or 4th gen i5, somewhere in between, but on the AM4 platform. 4 cores and 4 threads. I tested it with some of the most popular esports titles nowadays. Let's see how this CPU performs in 2021. Before we begin the test, here are the system specs. We have a Ryzen 3 1200 on a B450 Tomahawk Max motherboard, 16GB of dual channel RAM running at 3333 MHz. And lastly, we have the GPU, a 5700 XT, guaranteed no bottlenecks on the CPU. Sa first game test natin guys, we have Valorant. Siyempre, practice muna bago sumabak. For this game, I am running at 3700 MHz on the CPU, and we are getting an average of, I'd say it's about 140.
Down and out.
Enemy spotted mid.
Open up the sky!
One enemy remaining.
Spotted B.
Down you go.
One enemy
Now
remaining.
we're cooking. My ult's ready.
Next, we have Apex Legends Season 8. I turned off the overclock and stuck with the PBO for the rest of the testing. For this game, we are averaging around 70 FPS. A few drops, lalo pag may Bangalore at PBO, but the game is playable with these settings.
Charging up my shields. Reloading.
Well, we're in the top half. The shield's recharging.
CSGO is pretty much the same sa Valorant. Ito medyo lag ako, so sa lag lang yun, not on the hardware end. Dota 2, fastest settings. Early game as a 120 to 140. Down to the end game pag sa clash is dropping to an average of 80. AC Odyssey with the high settings, 45 FPS. Witcher 3 all low at 1080p since this is a graphic-oriented game. So gamit na gamit yung 5700 XT and we are getting 100 plus na average. Lastly, Valheim. This has become my favorite game at this moment, and at the high settings, we are averaging 65 FPS without the recording. that wraps up the games test for the Ryzen 3 1200 versus 2021. If you have a specific title that you want me to test on this particular CPU, then you might wanna comment down below kung anong title nga ba yan. So I'll try to test it. And lastly guys, you've stayed until this part. So surprise, I'm giving away a copy of Valheim game from Steam. It's for the my 500 subscriber goal. So I'm giving a Valheim game copy. Details to follow the next video. Medyo busy kasi ako lately. Kaya, yun. Abangan nyo na lang. It will come within some days after this video. Peace.